Hi everyone, it's Wednesday, time for a Little Wisdom Wednesday. I got a request this week to cover some information about what patients should do after experiencing a COVID illness. So I thought I would spend some time and walk through post-recovery type approach to getting back on track. We know that the numbers around Texas and of course around the world, particularly in the United States and UK, are really going up tremendously. And hopefully we'll be peaking soon and be able to see this thing through quickly and down within the next month, and perhaps see a quote unquote herd immunity that will have long-term benefits. So keep our fingers crossed on that. Nonetheless, if you have had COVID and are finding that you are still struggling in some ways after your illness, let's talk a little bit about ways that you could work on lifestyle issues and get back on track as quickly as possible. We know that any kind of illness is going to use up quite a bit of micronutrients, particularly B vitamins, and we'll see a surge of cortisol and just the inflammation that occurs in any type of illness. So with that, it's really important to stick with an anti-inflammatory diet, no wheat, no dairy, and try to minimize any sugar or starches. So stick with just good, healthy proteins and vegetables, which is where you're going to get the vast majority of your micronutrients. In addition, you can get some additional collagen by just maybe making a nice herbal tea and adding some collagen powder to that. And consider adding NAC, resveratrol. You know, I was telling you some of my favorite things, and I do make my own yogurt, and I put a gram of resveratrol, a gram of N&M, and I'm using Timeline, which is the urolithin A, and possibly adding some other things as time goes on. We've got a new spermidine pack that's now 12 milligrams instead of just the 1 to 2 milligrams that we see with it. So I'm looking at that as far as a real boost. So adding something like that to your regimen might be helpful as well, and trying to just bolster your immune system. And in addition, it's important to drink really clean water. So spring water is good. If you have filters in your house, that's great. Some people are really affected by EMF. You might really consider turning off your Wi-Fi at night, and obviously staying off of a lot of devices and trying to lower blue light, particularly at night. But getting good sleep is really so important, and not trying to jump back into your exercise routine and or your full activity just right off the bat. You want to take some time to allow your body full recovery. I would also recommend considering some form of hydrotherapy, including warm baths, cold showers, dry sauna, wet sauna. There are different types of schedules that you can do, going from a hot bath into a wet sauna, dry sauna, and then perhaps a minute into a cold pool or ice bath. I do, as I mentioned before, I do cryo once or twice a week with some sauna. I try to do that a little more regularly, and that really helps to cleanse and detoxify the body. But important to stay hydrated. What we're seeing too with COVID is that people who've had chronic long-term either viral or bacterial infections such as Epstein-Barr or Lyme are seeing resurgences of these come up, whether it's in a flare or just persistent fatigue in patients with Epstein-Barr and chronic fatigue. These can be long-term issues, but can flare after a viral infection, and particularly we're seeing that with COVID. So just stick with your good exercise routine, but slowly get back into it. Stay with your supplements. CoQ10 is very beneficial. Doing your intermittent fasting, very beneficial to help clear out all those mitochondria that are now damaged in the cells. And turning off insulin is really important to allow that procedure, whether it's autophagy or mitophagy, however you choose to look at it, but it's that cleansing out and that recycling that's really important for the body. And if you're eating all the time and having constantly elevated levels of insulin, that can be problematic. So I wish you all well. And if you have any other questions or concerns, please let us know, and we will talk again next week.